My biggest takeaway from this period is really, most of the people who I'm talking about in this book had some participation in the founding of the nation. They either fought in the war, or they were in Congress, or they were a diplomat, or they were in the state governments. So they knew how hard it was to build something, and they knew how easy it was to tear down, and therefore how fragile the institutions they had just created were. And they also understood that the longer something survived, the stronger it would become, because it would take on sort of significance and build up legitimacy, but that it required civilian participation and sort of the renewed commitment of each generation to have that commitment. And so when push came to shove, when they came to moments where it came perilously close to being torn down, in the election of 1800, and the transition is one of them, where there were moments where I think they genuinely were worried that violence was going to destroy the Constitution, and I think they had good reason to fear that. They backed away, and they were willing to pursue compromise, and often it took moderate voices from both parties to engineer that, because they had skin in the game, and they had fought for this thing. And I think that the biggest takeaway I have today is that a lot of Americans feel like we've survived for 250 years. Of course we're going to survive for another 250 years. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but most republics don't last 300. And so what I hope that people will take away from the story is that survival depends on us being committed to it surviving, and to continuing to be committed to upholding the institutions that require us to uphold them in order to survive.